This is the new Community line by Citrus and Mint for Riley Blake. One of the things I love about this collection is the variety that the designer has included in terms of color, but also in terms of scale of the prints. What I mean by that is how big or small the design elements are. So for example, this is a larger scale print. It's a beautiful park scene, and if we were to cut this into smaller squares or rectangles, we'd be cutting right through the design. I grabbed my 3.5 inch square ruler here. This is a really helpful way just to get a sense for what might fit in a block that you're gonna cut. And if we cut this really any smaller than 5, maybe 6 inches, we're probably gonna be losing some design elements. Let's compare that to what we might consider a medium scale print, maybe this one. So there's a lot going on here. We have different color elements, but anywhere we cut it, we'll still get to see all of those. We could easily cut, a 3.5, 4 inch square and get a great view of the design. Even smaller than that is what we often call a blender or maybe a micro print, something like this one. We have these really beautiful hearts, but they're tiny. We could cut even a 2 inch square and get a great representation of that design in our quilt. So let's do a quick rearrange here. Let's sort these by scale instead of by color. We've got this really adorable architecture and house print, that in a couple of different colorways. Love this one on the white background. This community print that we looked at, we have a few colorways of that one. And then this really beautiful focal floral. That's one of my favorites. We have a few of those as well. All right, and then let's put some medium size prints over here. Love these. This has a nice kind of vertical element to it that you could incorporate into a border or some strip piecing. Here's another one of these. Some kind of faux plaid almost. Another one of these. Another plaid. Okay. Typically, when we call a print a blender, it's all one color family like this. So these are a little borderline. We've got more variety in the print, but still they're really small. We can do a lot with those. Okay, now we have these arranged by scale, and that'll help us when we decide where we can use these, what projects we should incorporate these into. One of the projects that I want to make with this line is a tote bag like this one. And you can see here that we're going to make half square triangles, and they're pretty small. These are 3 inch squares. So if we were to pick a larger scale print, we're only going to see a tiny bit of it. However, we could choose something like this, one of our blenders. That would be a great placement for one of those smaller pieces. I think you could even use a mid-sized print like this for that type of square also. By contrast, I'm also going to make a table runner with these. This is the Olive Quilt table runner, and it has these 8 inch squares, which are perfect for a focal print. So this park scene that we looked at earlier, how cute would that be? And then if you have this as a square, you can pick up a blender to go along with it for smaller pieces, for the binding, and those will work so well together. When you're doing a fabric pull for your next quilt, remember to consider scale of your fabric as well as color.